Welcome to Legacy Kids Sunday School!
Grandpa Vicini,
Yes, my princess?
I don't feel very well.
Oh, no! You know what always makes me feel better?
What?
A story.
I love stories.
Oh, you do? Yay! Have you ever heard of the story of Ruth and Naomi and Boaz?
Wait a minute. Ruth? Naomi?
Mm-hmm.
Those sound like normal names.
Yeah. Did you know Ruth's a book in the Bible?
It is?
Yep.
I didn't know that. But wait, you said Boaz?
Yep.
That's just a weird name.
Yes, it is. But you want to know a secret?
What?
What his son's name is?
What?
Obed.
What?
It's what I say when I'm really tired.
That's a silly name too, Grandpa.
You want to know how he came to be?
How?
So, once upon a time, in a faraway land named Israel.
Israel?
Israel.
Is this story real?
Yes, it is.
Awesome!
Yay! So, there was a man named Abimelech. It's okay, he dies. And his wife Naomi. And they had 2 sons. And they left Israel because there was a famine in the land. No food.
I would be so hungry.
Me too. So they went to the land called Moab.
Moab? Is that what you get when you go to the gym?
What?
Moab!
That is where you get at when you go to the gym. But I'm talking about a place. So these 2 and their 2 sons went to Moab. And there, unfortunately, he died. I know, very sad, very sad. So, his 2 sons, they grew up and they married 2 girls.
I'm with you.
And there's one named Ruth, who we've already talked about, and one named Orpah,
Like the whale?
like the whale.
Orpah like the whale?
Can you speak well?
Whoa!
Very good.
Thanks.
So, guess what happened?
What?
The 2 sons, they died. It's a lot of death. Very sad.
That's such a sad
It is.
story.
It is.
Is this supposed to make me feel better?
Yes, it is. Just you wait. Just
Well, I
you
hope
wait.
it gets better soon.
It will. Promise. So now it's just Naomi, Ruth, and Orpah. And Naomi decides that she's gonna go back to Israel and leave everyone. She's done with them. Yep. So
But I thought you said there was no food in Israel.
there is now. Yay!
Yay!
So
My daughters, you need to go home to your families. I am going back to Israel. There is nothing more left for me in Moab.
We will go with you.
Why come with me? I have no more sons for you to marry, and I am too old to have any more children.
Oh, Naomi.
Wait a minute. Did Orpah ever marry again? Did Naomi keep them? Did they let her go home? What happened?
No.
What are they doing? I don't understand.
Listen to the story.
Okay.
Naomi saw that Ruth wouldn't leave her.
So she let her come with him. Oh, Naomi, where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God.
Okay.
Is that you, Naomi?
Don't call me Naomi anymore. Call me Mara, because my life is filled with bitterness. Wait a minute. Why did Naomi want to change her name? I like the name Naomi. It's a good name, Naomi. It's so nice. It's like 3 syllables. It's a good name.
It is a good name. But way back in the Bible days, all their names meant something. And Naomi meant pleasant. But she was sad and bitter because she had lost both her husband and her 2 sons. So she wanted them to call her Mara, which meant bitter.
So, if I were Naomi, I would change my name from Buttercup to Dead Flower.
Yes. Yes, you would. That would be very depressing.
That would be awful.
Yep. Okay, let's continue with the story. So, there was a guy named Boaz. Remember him?
I do.
Yeah, and he owned a lot of fields. And they grew grain and barley.
I bet he lost business during the famine.
Yes, he definitely did. So,
Who is that working in the field?
That's Ruth. She came back from Moab with Naomi. She's been working here all day long.
Ruth, come here a minute.
Yes.
I've heard what you've done for your mother-in-law, Naomi. Be sure to stay in my field. I'll make sure you stay safe and protected. No one will bother you.
Thank you.
No problem.
My goodness, where did you glean today, Ruth, that you brought so much grain home?
I went to Boaz's field. It's a good one.
Well, he is a good man. You need to stay there at his field. He is one of our relatives. We will make sure you stay safe.
Oh, that's what he said.
You know what? What? He would be a good husband for you. He will protect you, and he is a kinsman redeemer.
Redeemer? No way!
Yes, way! In fact, why don't you go to the threshing floor this evening at the party and sneak up real quiet and uncover his feet and lay down beside him? He'll tell you what to do.
Okay, I will do it.
Very good. Redeemed? Grandpa, you keep saying that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
well, it means like when you go to an arcade and you know when you get tokens or tickets,
Yeah?
what do you do then?
Well, I go and pay them and get a prize.
That's right. You go and what they call redeem your tickets.
That's what that means?
Yes, it does.
Well, Grandpa Bassini, I think you do actually know what you're talking about.
It's shocking, isn't it? Someone
A
actually
little
knows.
bit.
Okay, so Boaz was in a position to help or to get something from Naomi and Ruth. He's gonna redeem her.
That's awesome.
Achoo!
Who's there?
It's me, Ruth.
Ruth? What are you doing here?
I'm here because Naomi told me to be here.
Wait a minute. She uncovered his feet?
Yes, she did.
With Wouldn't they get cold?
Yes. Yes, they would.
And wouldn't they be stinky?
Well, yes. Yeah, they would. They didn't bathe as regularly as we did.
That's some real love to uncover stinky feet and lay by them.
Mm-hmm.
P.U.
But seriously, can you cover me with your protection?
This is the greater kindness that you have done than anything else so far, because I am an old man and you did not look for a young husband. Rest here tonight and I'll take care of everything in the morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Take this grain to Naomi, and I will take care of the rest.
Okay.
Hey, Ken. You heard that Naomi is wanting to sell her field.
Yeah.
Do you want to buy it?
Yeah,
Well, you know, when you buy her field, you also have to marry Ruth.
I can't buy it.
Then I will buy it. In front of our witnesses, here is my shoe to seal the deal.
Okay.
What is the deal with feet in this story? Feet and shoes everywhere. He's taken off his shoes now and given them to people? This is just the weirdest thing.
Yes. Yes, it is. I have no explanation. You know what's so awesome about this story?
What?
That Ruth, who was a Moabite and not of the children of Israel, became the great-grandma of the king of Israel named David. Have you heard of David?
I have.
He's a pretty great guy.
He was.
Mm-hmm. And
He killed a giant.
Dead.
He did.
then, not only that, but she was the great grandma of
So what you're telling me is Ruth was a great woman.
Yes, she was.
That's awesome! Grandpa, I feel so much better after hearing that story.
Me too. The end.
Bye!
Now it's time for Bible stories with your CAC family.
The story of Ruth and Naomi, as found in the book of Ruth in the Old Testament. Storyboard by Sister Caitlin Shostrand. Narration by Sister Alicia Dykes.
Brother David Post.
And Sister Caitlin Shostrand.
Now as it happened, there was a famine in the land of Israel. There was so little food to be found that many people moved to other countries in search of something to eat. One such family included a man by the name of Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons. They moved to the country of Moab and lived there during the famine. While there, Elimelech died, and his sons married Moabite women by the names of Orpah and Ruth. The family lived in the land of Moab for about 10 years before both sons also died. Naomi was left with no one but her daughters-in-law. Very sad from the loss of her family, and after hearing that the famine had ended in Israel, Naomi got up to return to Bethlehem, where she lived before the famine. She said to her daughters-in-law,
Go back to your parents' houses. May the Lord be kind to you as you have been kind to me and my sons. and may he give you peace with your new husbands. No, no,
they cried.
we will go back to Israel with you. Why come with me?
She answered,
I have no more sons for you to marry, and I feel like God has turned against me.
The women wept, and Orpah said goodbye to Naomi, returning to her own family. But Ruth hugged her tight and said,
Please don't send me away. Wherever you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God will be my God. Wherever you die, I will also die, and there will I be buried.
Naomi realized Ruth was determined to stay with her, so they returned to Bethlehem together. When the townspeople in Bethlehem saw her, they said,
Is that you, Naomi? Don't call me Naomi anymore.
She replied,
Call me Mara, because I have lost everything, and my life is full of bitterness now.
Now Naomi had a relative by the name of Boaz, who was very wealthy. One day, Ruth said to her,
Let me go into the fields and see if I can pick up some of the leftover grain the harvesters have left, so we can have something to eat. Be careful,
Naomi said, and went on her way. Ruth unknowingly found her way to the fields of Boaz, Naomi's relative. When he saw her working in the hot sun, he said to the workers,
Who is the lady gleaning in the fields?
That's Ruth, the Moabite woman who came back with Naomi.
They answered.
She came to us this morning and said,
Please let me glean here and pick up what the harvesters drop.
and has been working almost non-stop since then.
Boaz called Ruth to him and said,
Listen, Ruth, don't glean in another field, but stay with the women who work in my field. Watch where they collect the grain and follow them. You'll be safe in my fields because I've told all of my workers to be kind to you, and if you ever need a drink, help yourself to what they've drawn from the well.
Ruth was overwhelmed by his kindness and fell down at the ground before him.
Why have I found such favor in your eyes that you should notice me, a foreigner?
I have heard all you've done for your mother-in-law Naomi since the death of your husband, and how you left your own family to come live in a strange land with people you don't know.
Boaz answered,
And may the Lord richly bless you for taking refuge under his care.
With that, Ruth continued working. At lunchtime, Boaz called her over to the table and let her eat her fill. When she was finished, Ruth again went to glean in the fields. Boaz told his servants,
Be sure to leave some extra grain for her to pick up, and don't stop her from gleaning by the sheaves of grain.
The servants obeyed his command, and by evening Ruth had collected about 8 gallons of grain. When Ruth went home, Naomi saw the grain and exclaimed,
Where did you glean today that you collected so much grain? May the Lord bless the man who noticed you.
Ruth told her mother-in-law all that happened that day. When she finished, Naomi said,
It is good for you to stay in Boaz's fields, Ruth. He will make sure you stay safe.
So Ruth continued to work in Boaz's field while the barley was harvested. One day, Naomi said to Ruth,
My daughter, shouldn't I seek a home and husband for you so you can prosper? What do you think of Boaz? After all, he is our relative. Go get cleaned up and put on your best clothes and meet him tonight at the threshing floor. When he goes to sleep after the celebration, uncover his feet and lie down, and he will tell you what to do. Okay,
Ruth answered.
I will do all that you have said.
After the party, about midnight, Boaz was startled awake, and when he rolled over, he saw a woman laying at his feet.
Who are you?
He whispered.
I am Ruth,
She answered.
Please cover me with your protection, for you are my close kin.
May the Lord bless you,
He said.
for you have shown more kindness now than before, because you did not look for a young husband, whether rich or poor. It is true that I am a close relative, but there is another man who is closer. Don't be worried, though, because it'll all be all right. Rest here tonight, and I'll take care of everything in the morning."
That morning, Ruth and Boaz got up before everyone else. He gave her some extra grain to take to Naomi, and they went their separate ways. When Ruth told Naomi all that had happened, Naomi said,
We will wait and see what happens, because I tell you that Boaz will not rest until he finishes the matter today.
While they were talking, Boaz went to the city's gate and sat down and waited for the other relative to walk by. When he saw him, he called him over with 10 of the elders of the city and said,
"Sit with me for a moment. As you know, Naomi has returned from Moab and wants to sell the land that belonged to our brother Elimelech. Since you are the nearest relative, you have first choice to buy it or not. If you aren't interested, let me know and I'll buy it."
I will buy it.
"Okay, but remember, the day you buy the field, you also buy Ruth, the Moabitess, widow of Elimelech's son, to ensure his family line does not die out."
The man thought for a moment and said,
"If that's the case, I cannot buy it in case my own inheritance is put at risk. You go ahead and buy it." "So be it. In the presence of these witnesses, you all see that I have bought all that was Elimelech's and his sons, including Ruth, to be my wife."
So Boaz married Ruth, and together they had a son named Obed. Obed had a son named Jesse. Jesse was the father of David, and David, who became the king of Israel, was the ancestor of our Lord Jesus Christ.
Hello there, boys and girls. This is your Grandma Thibodeau sending you one of those video messages. Boudreaux was talking to me and he said since it was Mother's Day today that I should be the one to send you the message. You know, in reading about Ruth and Naomi, I just think it's so wonderful that Ruth went with Naomi, don't you? I just think it's just marvelous when so many times we would just rather go elsewhere. Ruth decided to stay with her mother-in-law. Isn't that just wonderful? I mean, and you know, she was so willing to do whatever Naomi was doing. And she was so willing to even have her God be her God. I just think that that's just marvelous, don't you? And you know, I think the Lord thought so too. Because you know, back in the Bible days, if you weren't an Israelite, you weren't supposed to have any of the promises of God. And yet, do you know what? Ruth was one of the ancestors of Jesus and of King David, which that's pretty special, don't you think so? I do too. And you know, I just think that means that if we are willing to go and do whatever the Lord wants us to do, that He will honor us like He did Ruth too. He will make us something special and a part of something special. Isn't that just wonderful? I mean to say, you know, when sometimes we might not feel like we're very special, but so long as we do what the Lord wants us to do, oh my stars, He's gonna make us into something wonderful. It's just marvelous, isn't it? You know, it makes me think of this song, and I hope you'll sing it along with me. I will follow you wherever you may go. There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can keep me away from God. So until next week, y'all take care and give all those wonderful ladies in your life your kindness and be extra sweet to them. Bye-bye now.